Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our 60-minute vinyasa in Harvard Gulch Park on a gorgeous Saturday morning, Memorial Day weekend. Really glad you could all be here. Let's take a few moments just to become present. You can let your eyes close down if that feels comfortable. And just begin to feel into the space around you, whatever that means for you. Maybe that means breathing in the air. Maybe it means feeling the sun on your bare skin or the cool breeze. Or maybe you can sense it all. Enjoy whatever is arising for you for a few moments. And about 3 more breaths. Let your breath deepen now. A couple more breaths. And one more. You can let your eyes open if you like. Reach your arms up and overhead. Bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, and invert the palms, stretching the palms towards the sky. Now draw your navel in, and then reach up even higher. Look up, lift your chin so that you're looking towards your hands. And then pull the chin, release the arms, bring them behind you, interlace your fingers behind your back. Everybody hear me? Yeah? Jill, you can hear me over there? All right, good. Lift the hands up a little bit higher if you can. Keep your spine nice and long. Keep drawing the navel in. And then release the hands. Big hug. Big, deep hug so the elbows almost come together. And then release the hands back again and interlace the fingers. Straighten the arms as you press the knuckles towards the back of your mat. Take a deep breath in now. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips and begin to fold forward, letting the forehead come down towards the mat, reaching the knuckles high. On an inhale, rise slowly. And then release the hands. Reach them up, and then palms come together and to heart center. Press the palms together. Inhale back up. Exhale the arms to a T. Let's take a twist to the left, and then back to center and a twist to the right. Faked you out, huh? And back to left. Used to doing things in one way, and back to the other side. So it's nice to shake it up every once in a while. And over to the left, and back to center and to the right. And then back to center, reach the arms high, palms together and pull them down to heart center. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale the arms out to a T with the palms facing down. So flip your palms so they face down. Reach the hands apart from one another. Drop the left hand down. Reach the right hand up and over. Then engage the core and rise right back up and bring the right hand down. Reach with the left hand. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. We're going to slow it down a little bit. And exhale down. And inhale up. And exhale down. And one more time on each side. And then rise all the way back up. And bring the hands to the knees. Relax the shoulders a little bit. Actually, I don't know about you, but that brought a lot of tension into the back of the neck, kind of between the shoulder blades. So let's see if we can release that tension. Draw the shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale the shoulders back and down. Do that again. Inhale the shoulders up towards the ears, and then just let them drop down. Do that again. Inhale up, and let it go. Now take a breath. Try and relax those muscles between the shoulder blades. Now right ear towards right shoulder. We'll just work on the neck a little bit, and then chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder, then lift the chin up high. And right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, and lift the chin high. Just let your head roll around on the top of the neck there, a couple times around, a couple more times around that direction, and then let it go back the other way, and we'll do about 5 times the other direction. Nice and slow, there's no rush. And think about coming back to center now. And on an inhale, lift your chin up high. So you're looking up towards the sky. Yes, I know that rhymes. And now open your mouth wide as you can, really stretching out the jaw. And then close it and bring the chin back so it's level. Now do that again. Open the mouth, keep the chin level. See, I can't open my mouth wide and talk at the same time. Yeah. And close it. Now bring the chin down. Bring the chin towards the chest. Open your mouth really wide again. And release. Let it go. Let's roll over the knees and come to table pose. Once you're in table pose, press your hips off to the right and then to the left and then to the right and again to the left. And one more time to the right and then back to the left. And now start to make circles with the hips. Very slow and small circles to begin. If you want, you can walk your hands forward a few inches, may make this easier. And then let the circles get wider and wider, so that eventually you're making as big a circles as you possibly can with your hips. And then switch directions and go back the other way. Huge circles coming back the other direction. And then let the circles become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, until the hips barely move at all. And then walk the hands back so they're right under the shoulders, and let's find cow pose on an inhale, lifting your chin, dropping the belly down, and exhaling to cat pose, drawing the navel up towards the sky, and inhale to cow, and exhale to cat. Just keep the breath flowing, inhaling to cow pose, and exhaling to cat. Enjoy the flow of the breath. Go about 3 more times through. And as always, remember you can let your eyes close down here. And about twice more. One more time. Now, back to a neutral spine, back to table pose. Pick your right knee up just a little bit, just about an inch off of the mat. And we're going to make circles with the right knee now. Go around one direction. And just like we did with the hips, this time with the knee, let the circles get larger and larger, so that eventually that right knee is coming up as high as the hip, maybe even more. And then go back the other way. Big circles to start, and then letting the circles get smaller and smaller and smaller until eventually the knee is just hanging and you're just making little circles with the knee. Once you're there, straighten the right leg, press the right heel back, And then rotate the toes, making sure the toes on the right foot are pointing down. And now point the toes on the right foot, stretching out of that right hip, and then bend the right knee and bring it forward and touch your chin. Then press straight back through the heel, point the toes, bring the knee forward, and maybe touch the nose with the knee, being careful. Press back through the heel, then point the toes, and bring the knee forward, maybe touching the forehead, and then press straight back through the heel. You can bring the right knee down now. Pause for a moment. Bring the weight into the right knee so the left knee lifts up, and go around one direction, making circles again with the knees. Now for most of us, we're going to feel those on the outside of the hip. And if you go even slower, you will increase the sensation that you're creating in the outside of the hip. Let the circles get wider and wider, and notice that sensation increasing in that left hip. And then go back the other direction, starting with wide circles. Slow it down. Slow it down. No need to rush. Good job. And eventually slow it down so much and let that left knee just hang, and then straighten the left leg. Press through the left heel, and now point the toes. Now bend the left knee, bring it forward, touch the chin if you can, and then press back through the heel. Now point the toes, and then bend the knee and bring it forward, maybe touch the nose, and press back through the heel, straightening the leg. Now point the toes again and bend the knee, bring it forward, maybe touching the forehead. I know that's a deep forward fold. Then press back through the heel, and then bring the left knee down so it meets the right knee. Let's all walk the hands forward about one hand length, so more than we did before, keeping the hips still right over the knees. Now draw your navel up towards the spine and glide the hips forward and down. And you're going to feel most of the weight in the hands. Press the palms into the mat, as well as the pads of the fingers and the thumbs. And then press your navel forward, press your heart forward. You can lift your chin if you want, looking up to the sky. Now draw the navel up to come out of the pose, and then press your tailbone back towards the heels, lengthening the spine, feeling a stretch in the shoulders. And then we'll go through it all again. Draw the navel up to begin. Glide the hips forward and down into our knees, down, upward facing dog. This time pull the shoulder blades a little bit together on the back. Maybe lift your chin. Squeeze the glutes together. And then draw the navel up and press the tailbone back again towards the heels. And keep it going. We'll do it 3 more times, total of 5. And just continue flowing through. A couple more times through. And maybe one more. And then back to a neutral spine. Once you're there, take a deep breath in, and then tuck your toes and lift your hips. Let's find downward facing dog. Man, I can really feel that in the back of my legs. Anybody feel that in their calves? Lengthen the spine as you press your hands into the mat. Spread the fingers nice and wide. On an inhale, reach your right leg up, press the left heel down, and then bring the right foot down. Back to downward dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Lift it high. Point the toes. Press the right heel down. And bring the left foot down. Back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, right leg rises again. Now 3-legged dog. Open the hips to the right, keeping weight in that right hand. Then level the hips and bring the right foot all the way back down. Downward dog. And same thing on the other side. Left foot lifts. Open the hips to the left, working on stacking the left hip over the right, creating a nice spinal twist, and then level the hips. Step the left foot forward so it comes between the hands, and the right foot's going to follow as we come to a standing forward fold. Let your head hang down in the forward fold. This pose is called Uttanasana in Sanskrit. You can take opposite elbows if you like, if that feels good. And see if you can bring the weight into the front of the feet a little bit more so your heels are beginning to float. Now release the hands if you have opposite, or release the elbows if you have opposite elbows. Keep your chin on your chest and round your spine. Keep pressing into the front of the feet as you rise. Draw the navel up towards the sky. Let your arms float high. And exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale up. Exhale the arms to a T. Now swan dive, forward fold. Come to a half left. The hands to the top of the shins. Press the palms into the shins and feel that length in the spine, maybe a little stretch in the glutes and the hamstrings. A slight bend in the knees now as you hinge at the hips and fold forward, letting your head drop down. Now arms out to a T, reverse swan dive as you rise, coming all the way back up. Reach up high. Look up as the palms come together, and then to heart center. On an inhale, up, and beautiful swan dive, forward fold. Come to a half lift, and then release the head all the way down. Little bend in the knees, let your head drop down even more, getting nice and heavy. Now draw the navel up, chin on chest, the spine rounds as you rise. You can drag your hands along the front of the legs. Reach the arms high. And exhale the hands to heart center. What a lovely sound. Inhale up. This time back. Now fold all the way forward. Come to a half lift. And then release the hands down to the mat. Let your head drop down. Chin on chest, round the spine, drawing the navel up as you rise. And reach the arms high. Take a hold of your left hand with your left wrist rather, with your right hand. Bring your feet so they're a little more than hip width apart, but still parallel to one another. We're just going to do a side stretch standing. So pull that left hand up and over. Stretch it out even more. Really reach, really stretch. On an inhale, rise up using the core to come up. Then press through the palm of that left hand, look up towards the palm, and stretch it up towards the sky as if you're pushing the sky away from you. And then level your chin and switch your grip. Let's go over to the other side. The weight comes into the right foot more than the left foot as you pull that wrist over to the left. On an inhale, core engages as you come back up. Press through the right palm, look up towards the sky, lifting the chin. And level the chin. Release the hands and bring them all the way down. Flip your palms so they face forward, thumbs pointing out. Take a breath. And on the exhale, pull your shoulders back and down so the chest rises. Now arms reach up. And to heart center. Leave them there as you hinge at the hips and fold forward. Come to a half lift. And then bring your hands all the way down to the mat. Press the hands into the mat and step your left foot back. Leave the right foot forward for a moment. Press through that left heel. The right knee is bent about 90 degrees. Press the hands into the mat so you're really engaged in the pose. Make sure that right knee is below, the right foot is below the right knee. Yeah, walk the foot forward a bit. There you go. You got it. Press back on the left heel a little bit more so you feel a nice stretch in the heel, in the, what are those called? In the calf muscle. Thank you all. Thanks for the help. In the calf on that left leg. And now step your right foot back to plank pose. Lift your hips high, downward facing dog. On an inhale, reach the left leg up and step the left foot forward so the left foot comes between the hands. Get it all the way forward so you have a nice long lunge. And then press back through the right heel this time, stretching the calf muscles here on this side, the calf muscles on that side. Press your hands into the mat. You can use the whole body for leverage here. Good job. Now left foot steps back to plank pose. And bring your knees to the mat. Chest and chin will follow as you inchworm your way into cobra pose. In cobra pose, lift the heart up off the mat. Elbows tucked in nice and close to the body. Pubic bone pressing down. Take a deep breath and release. Now tuck your toes. Push to a beautiful plank and lift your hips. Downward facing dog. So we're just pivoting at the hips, lifting the hips high, keeping the spine nice and long, letting the head drop down if you like, releasing the neck muscles. On an inhale, reach the right leg up, step it or lift it up high and then step it forward so it comes between the hands. Now bring the left knee to the mat, reach the arms up and overhead into a low crescent lunge. Press that right knee forward even a little bit more, making sure the toes on the right foot are pointing straight forward. The knee is pointing in the same direction. And if you like, press that right knee forward a little bit more. Really stretch it out. You're in the sun. That's okay. It'll be all right. It's not going to be that long. Now bring the hands down on either side of the right foot. Tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat, and then step the right foot back to plank pose. Take a deep breath in plank, and on the exhale, bring the knees to the mat. We're moving towards cobra pose now. Chest and chin follow. Inchworm your way into a cobra pose. Lift the heart up off the mat. Elbows stay bent in cobra pose, and tucked in nice and close to the body, and release all the way down. Now push to plank. And the hips rise into downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Lots of length in the spine here as you reach the tailbone up and back. So think about creating distance between the palms pressing into the mat and the tailbone reaching up and back. Maybe your heart melts down towards the mat a little bit if the mobility of your shoulders allows you to do that. And on an inhale, reach the left leg up. Step the left foot forward so it comes between the hands. And bring the right knee to the mat. Arms reach high. We've come to a low crescent lunge. I hope on our second side. Yes. Some of you are keeping track. That's okay. Some of you aren't. That's okay too. Press that left knee forward just a little bit more. Awesome. Bring the hands down on either side of the left foot. Now tuck the toes as you straighten the right leg. The knee comes off the mat. Now step the right foot forward. Standing forward fold. Here, let your head drop down. Bring the weight into the front of the feet and just notice how that feels. Now see if you can release the neck muscles completely. So you're not holding your head up at all. Now take opposite elbows and press the elbows down towards the big toes so that you have the sensation of lengthening the spine. At the same time, see if you can bring the weight into the front of the feet just a little bit more so your heels are almost floating. And you can micro bend the knees here if you like. So I want your spine to lengthen. I want your elbows to come down. You're probably going to feel that in the hamstrings, maybe the gluteal muscles. Now, press into the front of the feet, keep opposite elbows and rise. Lots of core engagement as you come up. And eventually reach the elbows straight up to the sky, and then back and lift your gaze. Lift your chin. Press the chest up towards the sky. You can bend the knees here and keep the weight in the front of the feet. That'll allow you to create a deeper back bend if you want. Now level the chin. Bring the arms out to a T and swan dive. Forward fold, and then do a half lift, and then release the hands all the way down to the mat. Now step or jump back, if you want, to plank pose, and flow through a vinyasa. Our first vinyasa of the practice, either knees, chest, chin, like we've been doing, or chaturanga dandasana, upward facing dog. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. Now 3 breaths in downward dog. Big deep breath in and exhale, let the breath go. And again, big deep breath in and let it go. And one more time, huge breath in this time. Now reach the right leg up. 3-legged dog, open the hips to the right. Second time we've been here, bend that right knee and see if you can stack the right hip over the left hip. Level the hips off now and step the right foot forward so it comes between the hands. A nice long runner's lunge. Now bring the left knee to the mat, reach the arms up and overhead into a low crescent lunge. Second time we've been here. Now press that right knee forward a little bit more. Reach up through the wrists so you're lengthening the upper body. At the same time, you're creating a nice stretch in the hip on the right side and the hip flexor muscles on the left side. There's so much going on in this pose. Now arms come out to a T. Reach the hands apart from one another. Palms face up works nicely here. Do you feel the engagement in the pectoral muscles just slightly? Now take your twist to the right, bring the left elbow to the knee, and join the palms together. All right, an option for you here. If you want, you can release the wings and bring the left hand down, reach the right hand up. If you've done that, bring the palms back together, back to our prayer twist. And then press into the right foot, bring the hands back to heart center. Reach up high. And then bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers behind the back. Press the knuckles together, the palms together. I'm not getting my body parts right at all today, am I? And press the knuckles towards the left heel. Lift your chin, come into a beautiful back bend. Chest is rising and that right knee is still pressing forward. Release the hands now, let them float up. And then down to the mat. Tuck the toes, straighten that left leg. The left knee comes off the mat. And the right foot steps back to plank pose. Take a breath and let it go. And again, a big deep breath and let it go. One more time. Big deep breath and let it go. After all the breath is out, flow through a vinyasa. Upward facing dog. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. As you inhale, left leg rises. Three-legged dog as the hips open to the left this time. Work on stacking the left hip over the right hip. Keep pressing both hands into the mat. Now level the hips and left foot steps all the way forward, coming between the hands. And the right knee comes to the mat as we rise to our low crescent lunge, second time on this side. Reach up through the wrists, just like we did on the other side. And press that left knee forward maybe a little bit more. Now arms come out to a T. Reach the hands apart from one another. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, take your twist to the left and bring the elbow to the knee, join the palms. You can release the wings if you want, reaching the right hand down and the left hand up. If you've done that, bring the palms back together. Now press in the left foot and rise, core engages, reach up high. And then bring the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers, but do it in the awkward way this time. Use your non-dominant grip and press the knuckles towards the right heel. Now lift your chin. Draw the shoulder blades together. Press the left knee forward a little more. Now level the chin. Release the hands so the arms float high. And bring the hands down on either side of the left foot. Tuck your toes and bring your right knee off the mat. And step the left foot back into plank pose. 3 breaths, just like we did on the other side. Breathing in deeply and out completely. And 2 more, big, deep breath. And 1 more, stay with it. And on the exhale, flow through vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. Getting warm in the sun, isn't it? Yeah. Bring your knees to the mat. Let's find child's pose for 3 breaths. See if we can bring the knees apart so that the knees come to the very edges of the mat. And that will give you a little bit of hip opening in this pose, Balasana, child's pose. Another couple of breaths. Think about pressing the tailbone down towards the mat. Notice where you feel sensation in the pose. Let's rise from there to table pose. And we're going to stay on hands and knees in table pose and reach the left hand forward with the thumb pointing up, and then reach the right heel straight back, and then point the toes on the right foot. Spread the fingers wide on the right hand, the hand that's on the mat, and then lengthen through the fingertips and the toes in table extension pose. Try and keep your gaze down so you're looking straight down at the mat, not needing to lift your head up. We'll stay with it. Another breath is all. And then finish by bringing elbows towards, or elbow towards knees, and then reach back out. Do that a second time. Fluid, beautiful movement, and reach it back out. And one more time. And then stretch it out and bring the left hand down. Keep that right foot up. Point the toes on the right foot. Bend the right knee so the toes point up towards the sky. And then press your hands into the mat and lift your chin up. Maybe lift that knee a little higher. Press the hands into the mat, lift the chin a little bit more, deepening the back bend. Take a breath. And then finish by bringing the elbow towards the chin, rounding the spine. And then pressing straight back through the right heel. And then bring the right knee down to meet the left knee. We'll go right over to the other side. Left foot reaches back, right hand reaches forward. Then point the toes on the left foot and reach the fingertips forward on the right hand. Thumb pointing up on the right hand. Now lengthen. And breathe. Keep it going. One more breath. You're almost there. Now bring elbow towards knee, rounding the spine. Feel that crunch, and then reach straight back out. And then bring the right hand down. Bend the left knee. Point the toes towards the sky. Right hand comes down now. We're coming into tiger pose. And press your hands into the mat. Lift your chin. Press your chest forward. See if you can lift the left knee a little bit higher. Find your beautiful, beautiful back bend here. And then finish by bringing the knee forward towards the chin. And then press straight back through the left heel. And bring the knee down to the mat. Take a breath. Maybe a sip of water if you want. Stay hydrated. I don't want to be responsible for anybody's dehydration. All right, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Let's find downward facing dog again. We're going to open the hips again with three-legged dog. So reach the right leg high, then step the right foot forward so it comes between the hands. Leave the left hand on the mat. Reach the right hand up and overhead. This is a lunge twist. Try moving the left hand over to the foot more. There you go. That's it. Good job. And now the right hand comes down inside that right foot. The left hand reaches up. This is our revolved lunge twist. And then when you're ready, spin your left heel, the back foot, down to the mat. Keep the right knee bent and pointing straight forward and rise to Warrior Two. Settle into Warrior Two. Just relax a little bit into the pose. Yeah. Yeah, you can fly, you can move the arms, maybe walk that right foot forward a little bit more if you want, creating a deeper or a longer stance. And now extended side angle pose, elbow comes to knee, and reach with the left hand, press into that back foot. And now kind of roll that left ankle towards the back of the mat a little bit. So you're pressing into the bottom of the pinky toe. And then on an inhale, straighten the right leg, raise all the way up, and reach the right hand up and back. This is a revolved triangle pose. Now back to Warrior Two, right knee bends. Let's find our second extended side angle pose on this side. Reach through the left hand again, stretching the left side body. Remember to press into the pinky toe of the left foot. Now let's find a bind, either a half bind, reaching the left hand up, bringing the left hand down to the thigh if you can, and then open that left shoulder up a little bit, and then release back to extended side angle pose, and straighten the right leg. Reach up and back into a reverse triangle pose, and then arms come out to a T. Press into the back foot, reach the right hand forward, let it come down into triangle pose. Now open the left shoulder up a little bit so that the left shoulder is stacked over the right shoulder more or less. 2 more breaths. Stay with it. And 1 more breath. Now right knee bends. Come back to Warrior Two and reestablish yourself in the pose. And then cartwheel the hands down on either side of the right foot. Come up onto the ball of the left foot and step the right foot back to plank pose. And flow through a vinyasa now. Either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. Find a couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog. Stretch it out. 3 breaths now in downward facing dog. Just feel the breath flowing through the body, helping to lengthen the spine. 1 more. Now inhale, left leg rises. Lift the left leg up high. And open the hips to the left, 3-legged dog. Keep both hands pressing into the mat. Work on stacking the left hip over the right hip even a little bit more. Awesome work. Level the hips now. Step the left foot forward so it comes between the hands. Nice long runner's lunge, right leg straight, pressing back on the right heel. Now move the right hand so it's about 4 inches from that left foot. And then press into the right palm and reach the left hand high into a lunge twist. Here, most of you will be able to come close to stacking your left shoulder over your right shoulder. And then bring the left hand down inside the foot, reach the right hand high. This is our revolved lunge twist. And many of you will notice that balance has come into play a little bit in the revolved lunge twist. Just notice it. And then spin the right heel to the mat. Rise to Warrior Two. Second side, so the left foot is forward, right foot is back. How's everybody doing? Doing okay? All right. Let's find extended side angle pose. That right shoulder is more or less over the left shoulder. Rise through Warrior Two to reverse triangle. Left leg straightens. Right hand comes down to the back of the right leg. Stretch. Reach through that left hand. Press into the left foot as you do that. And then back to Warrior Two. Extended side angle, second time. Rise, reverse triangle. Left leg straightens. Reach up and back. Warrior Two. Extended side angle. On this one, find the bind, either a half bind or a full bind if you want. Open the right shoulder up even a little bit more. There you go. Even a little more. There you are. Release from the binds, back to extended side angle. Elbow comes to knee. And rise to reverse triangle. Last time here on this side, press into the left foot. Reach up and back with the left hand, so creating lots and lots of length on the left side body. Now arms out to a T, press into that back foot as you reach your left hand forward, coming towards triangle pose. Trikonasana. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches high. Open the right shoulder up so it's more or less over the left shoulder. Two more breaths. Beautiful triangle poses, everybody. One more breath. Now left knee bends, rise to Warrior Two, settle into Warrior Two. Take a deep breath and let the breath go. Do that again, a big deep breath and let it go. Now bring the hands down on either side of the left foot and come up onto the ball of the right foot. Step the left foot back to plank and flow through vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. Now, bend the knees, keep lots of length in the spine. Bend the knees even a little more than that, and take a hop. I don't care if it's 3 inches or 3 feet, but eventually the feet end up between the hands. Now bend the knees and rise to, you guessed it, your favorite pose, chair pose. See if you can bring the weight back into the heels. Remember the options you have with the arms. So conventionally, we reach the arms out of the shoulders, kind of straight up, actually off to a little bit of an angle forward. But you can also bring your hands to heart center if you want. That's always an option. If you've done that, you can probably bend your knees a little bit more, press your hips back, but try not to lean forward too much. The arms can also reach out in front. Now everybody bring your hands to heart center, maybe bend the knees just a bit more. Let's find a chair twist. Left elbow to right knee, the right elbow reaches high into our chair twist. Remember to pay attention to the knees, so if the left knee is coming forward, bring it back so it's even with the right knee. And now back to center, back to chair pose, whichever arm variation you've chosen. And then hands back to heart center. Let's find our chair twist on the second side. Right elbow to left knee. Checking with the right knee. It really wants to come forward. Just remind it to stay even. And then back to center. And then straighten the legs, reach all the way up. And a swan dive, forward fold. Come to a half lift, and then exhale the hands all the way down to the mat. Take a big step back with your left foot. Then spin the left heel to the mat. Rise to warrior two. And now straighten the right leg. Pivot on the right heel. And let's find a wide-legged stance, prasarita, facing to the left side of the mat. Bring your arms out to a T. And anchor into the pinky toes of both feet. So the feet are parallel to one another, more or less. Now hinge at the hips and come down halfway, keeping the spine long. Your spine is about parallel to the mat now. Now rotate the right hand down so it's right below your face, then press it into the mat and reach the left hand high. And here we're working towards stacking the left shoulder over the right shoulder. You may be there, you may not. Maybe walk your right hand forward a little bit so that right hand is below the shoulder. Now, right hand picks up and left hand rotates down. Coming to the other side of our twist, spine stays long. The gaze can be up if that feels okay, but try not to let your head drop down. So keep the neck as an extension of the rest of the spine. Pick the head back up. No, neck a little. Pick your head up a little bit. There you go. One more time on each side. Right hand down, left hand high, wide-legged twist. And a last one, left hand down, right hand reaches high. Bring both hands down to the mat. And now we're going to do a wide-legged downward facing dog. So keep the spine long. Your hands are right below your shoulders to start. Now keep your hips exactly where they are in space and walk the hands forward. Then let your shoulders and your head drop down into a wide-legged downward facing dog. Press the palms into the mat. Press the fingertips into the mat. Reach your tailbone up and back. Beautiful. Walk the hands under the legs now, spinning the fingers around so they point to the back of the pose. And let your head drop down. Walk your hands back under your body as much as you can. And we're going to find a really, really deep, wide-legged forward fold here. The knees can bend a little bit if it feels like the right thing to do. Pay attention to the hamstrings, they will tell you. So if it's creating too much of a stretch, the knees can bend a little bit. Otherwise, keep walking the hands back even a little bit more. If your head lands on the mat, the top of the head, that's okay. And let's release. Walk the hands back. Bring the arms out to a T. with the spine long, slowly rise all the way back up. Once you're up, reach your arms high, palms face towards one another. Now notice the long line from your fingertips through your shoulders to your hips. I want you to see if you can maintain that long line as you hinge at the hips and come halfway down. So your upper body is parallel to the mat. Now press in the pinky toes and rise all the way back up, keeping that long line. Do that just one more time, working on core strength. Beautiful. Now slowly rise back up, nice and slow. Now arms come out to a T. Pivot on the right heel, bending the right knee, coming back to Warrior Two, facing the front of your mat. Hopefully. Everybody's oriented correctly. Good. Now bring the hands down on either side of the right foot and come up onto the ball of the left foot. Right foot steps back, plank pose. Now 3 breaths in plank. Let the breath deepen. So breathe even more deeply than you have for the whole rest of our, or for the whole previous part of our practice. And one more big, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, flow through our final vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga at your choice, into upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. Now walk the feet forward. And then bend the knees, and let's just come down to a seat. How's everybody doing? Okay? Yeah, the sun actually can feel good. It's not much longer. Press the heels away. I know, I keep saying that. Press the heels away. Legs are straight. Reach the arms high. And then exhale, fold forward over the extended legs. Reach the fingertips forward now. And slowly rise back up. A little bit more core work there. And release the hands. Bring them down. Now, sole the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Now get a hold, if you can, of the right foot with the right hand, the pinky toe side of the foot. And then open the left shoulder up so that the shoulders form a line between the left shoulder, the right arm, and the right foot. Did everybody get that? Yeah. Now reach the left hand up. And now see if you can pull the left hand up and over towards the right foot, keeping the left shoulder high. You may or may not be able to get a hold of the foot. Don't worry about whether you can. Just reach the left hand forward towards the foot, stretching the side body. Now slowly rise back up. The core engages deeply as you come up. And this time square the shoulders to the extended leg. Reach the arms high. Ground into both sitting bones, hinge at the hips, and fold forward over that extended right leg. Bring your forehead down towards the knee or the shin. And now chin on chest, round the spine, drawing your navel in as you come up. Let's bring the arms out to a T. We're going to have one more element in this series. Take a twist to the left. Plant the left hand behind you. Press into the left knee and the right heel. And lift your hips. And then reach up and back with the right hand. Let your head drop down. Maybe lift the hips even a little higher. And maybe open the right side of your chest towards the sky. Now slowly release. Lots of control coming down. And then square the shoulders to the extended leg again. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. That's it. Chin on chest, round the spine, rising. Take a breath. Whew. And let's find the other side. Now, the left hand gets a hold of the left foot if you can. If you can't get your left foot, then the knee or the shin or the ankle, whatever you can get. And then open the right shoulder up so you find a line from the right shoulder to the left shoulder to the left foot. Reach the right arm high and exhale, reach over towards that left foot, keeping the shoulder up. Stretch it out. Now, core engages deeply as you rise. Come all the way up. And then square the shoulders towards the bent knee. Or sorry, square the shoulders towards the straight leg, towards that left foot. Reach up high And exhale, fold forward over the extended left leg. Forehead comes down again towards the shin or the knee on this side, just like we did on the other. Now think about bringing the top of the head towards the big toe on the left foot. So you're lengthening the spine, maybe creating a nice stretch in the hamstring and the hip on the left side. Now reach the fingertips forward, press in the left heel and rise. Core engages. Arms out to a T. Take your twist to the right, plant the right hand down behind you, press into the right knee and the left foot, lift your hips. And then open the left side of the chest up a little bit more, maybe look up even higher towards the sky. Beautiful back bend here. Let the head drop down, let the neck muscles release. And with control, bring it down. And then square the shoulders to the extended leg, ground into the left sitting bone, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Again, think about bringing the top of the head towards the big toe on the left foot. Now chin on chest, rounding the spine to rise. And kind of unfurl the upper body. Bring both legs out in front. Bend the knees. Pick the heels up, reach the hands forward. This is a half boat pose. Take a breath. And one more. Now, hands to the pinky toe side of the feet and shoulders on the inside of the knees. This pose looks familiar to you, but it's not oriented the way you're usually familiar with it, right? So what's the pose? Yeah, happy baby. Doesn't seem like a very happy baby in this orientation, does it? So how would we make it happier? Lay down. Just roll down on your back. Soles of the feet reaching to the sky. Hug the knees towards the armpits in happy baby and think about pressing your tailbone down towards the mat. Kind of pressing into the lower lumbar spine. Couple more breaths. Release the hands now from the feet. Reach the heels to the sky. Now I've got options for you. You can stay right where you are, or you can move to plow pose, bringing the feet up and overhead and touching the toes down on the grass or the floor behind you. We'll have a couple more breaths wherever you are. If you're in legs up the wall and you want to move back to happy baby, feel free to do that as well. That's always an option here. Those in plow, bring your hands to the low back with the fingers pointing straight up, so the thumbs are pointing apart from one another. Support the low back. Bring the elbows a little bit closer together, so the elbows are just shoulder width apart, not flared out. And then just lift your feet up into shoulder stand. If you're in some other pose right now and you want to move to a version of shoulder stand, feel free to do that. And we're going to find 3 more breaths in shoulder stand. And 2 more. And 1 more breath. Those in shoulder stand, release your tailbone down to the mat. Back to plow if you got here from plow. And then let's all meet in legs up the wall pose with the tailbone pressing down. Bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. We'll do a very gentle bridge pose. Walk your feet back towards your glutes. You can get a hold of the ankles here if you want to, if that's something that's accessible to you. And when you're ready, press into the feet and lift your hips into bridge pose. It will help to draw the shoulder blades together under the back. That will allow you to find a deeper back bend. And that's it. Let it go. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Bring the arms out to a T with the palms facing down. And let's find a gentle supine twist. Knees to one side, doesn't matter which one. Gaze to the opposite side. Draw a deep breath in. And on the exhale, see if you can just let go. Let go of anything you're holding on to in this pose. Whether that's muscular tension or thoughts, feelings, sensations, desires, just let it all go. Do that once more. Deep breath in. Exhale and let it all go. Now just let your knees float back to center. There's almost no muscular engagement, and over to the other side. Remember, your gaze shifts now to the opposite direction. And again, a big, deep breath. And on the exhale, release whatever you can let go of, whatever you don't need in this moment. And again, a big, deep breath in. Just let it all go. You can let your knees come back to center again, almost floating. Straighten the legs. Bring the hands down by your side as we come to Shavasana. If you need to make adjustments on your mat so that you feel comfortable, feel free to do that. And those of you in the sun, we're just going to be here about 3 minutes, so it's not going to be a long Shavasana. But I really do hope you wore sunscreen. Begin to feel your breath. And notice how it's flowing in and flowing out. We know the breath does that all the time, does it about 13,000 times a day, flowing in and flowing out. But what I'd like for you to do is to pay attention to that process and notice what it feels like in the body as the breath flows in and flows out. So it's probably not realistic to expect us to be able to notice every breath while we're awake all day long. But that doesn't mean that on occasion we can't pay special notice to the breath. That deepens our experience of living. So just allow that process to unfold within you. And as you learn to focus on your breath and follow the flow of the breath in and out, and continue practicing that, you might find that you can generalize that. That is, you'll have the ability to create a deeper experience of everything that's going on within and without. Noticing other people and what they're saying, maybe paying more attention to them on a deeper level, noticing the sights and the sounds of daily life. And that's in part what yoga can teach us. The process of having a deeper experience of our reality. When you're ready, begin to draw your knees in towards your chest. And then roll to your side. You can keep your eyes closed down just for a moment. And pay attention to how this pose feels. Just like you were paying attention to your breath. Let all the distractions go. And when you're ready, bring yourself to a seat. The eyes can still remain closed. Once you're seated, bring your hands to heart center and gently press the palms together. Breathe in deeply and let your spine lengthen. And then just let the breath go. And do that again, a big deep breath. And let it go. Join me if you like in offering loving kindness. May you be happy and well, and may you be safe. May you be peaceful, and may you be at ease. Namaste.